Hello and welcome to another episode of T, Me and my four-wheel drive. She's T, I'm me, and we're in my four-wheel drive. And finally, we're on the road on the way to the Victorian High Country to enjoy a bit of...
No, Dad, we're in lockdown. We can't go anywhere.
Oh yeah. We're in lockdown. We're in the driveway. Unfortunately, Victoria, we live in Victoria and we're in lockdown. So we're, what are we now, about 9 weeks into the lockdown. I had 8 weeks off work, couldn't work, had to shut my business down for 8 weeks. But finally, about a week ago, I started up again. I've had 1 week of work, which is fantastic. But unfortunately, we still can't leave the house and go four-wheel driving. So hopefully, if everything goes okay, a couple of weeks and we will be doing a video saying we're going somewhere. Not sure if it'll be the Victorian High Country. We've got a couple of ideas up our sleeves, but we are itching to get out and go camping. Lockdown hasn't been a complete waste though. Well, I've used that time to do a bit of work on the car. There's always things that I want to do to the car, but I just don't have the time. So we're going to use this opportunity to do a few things, and let's show you what I've done.
Yep.
T's excited. All right, let's go. Let's start with front of the car and under the bonnet. Now my four-wheel drive is a 1998 105 series Land Cruiser FZJ 105R with a 1FZ FE engine. Now it is a petrol engine, and I know straight away a lot of people will say, why the hell did you buy a petrol? But to be honest, I couldn't afford a diesel, and I find that the petrol's fine. It works really well. Anyway, under the bonnet here. So what have we done? So it's a little bit messy. Sorry for that. And probably all I want to show you here is these two little gold bits up the back here. This is a recent addition. I only put these in yesterday, but I now have a set of diff breathers in the car. So these two hoses run down to the back of both of the diffs, and when we fly into cold puddles or water and the diffs sucking air, they won't be sucking in water anymore. They'll be getting nice clean air. So small addition, but a very important one, and something that we just added on yesterday. So very happy to see that. Apart from that, I have given the car a bit of a service. So I replaced the obviously the oil filter and gave it a new batch of oil. Coming around the front here, I've cleaned my headlights. So most of you wouldn't know this because I probably didn't tell anyone, but I had a bit of condensation in the headlights. It's been there for a while, couldn't get rid of it. I ended up pulling them apart and having to blow the air out from the inside of the headlights. Anyway, that's pretty good. Tied it up a little bit of wiring underneath down here where the winch is. Has a Dominator X winch. 1.2 horsepower. I think it's a 1,200 pound winch from memory, and running a rope. Don't know if you can see that in there. There we go. What else can I tell you about the front? Probably not too much, really. Haven't done an awful lot out the front here. Most of the work has been in other parts of the car. So let's keep going. I might show you the wheels. All right, well, wouldn't be a walkthrough unless we had a look at the wheels. So I've put mud terrains on for the first time. These are the Goodyear Wrangler MTR with Kevlar. These are a fairly new sort of tyre that's out on the market. I don't know, a year or two old. But first time that I've actually put some mud tyres on, and it's been fantastic. Only had it off-road once or twice since putting these tyres on, but so far I've had them in the snow, had them in a bit of mud, and yeah, they've performed really well. These are a 235/85 R16. I think that turns out to be just under 32 inch. I did have the opportunity to go up to a 35-inch tyre, but at the end of the day, I thought, why? It costs a lot of money. It's going to increase my fuel consumption, and I can get anywhere I need to go on these tyres. So that's it. I'm pretty happy with what I've got, and I'm going to stick with them. Right. Let's have a look at the roof. I need to show you something else that I've done, kind of related to tyres. I've got to get up. Oh. 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 Okay, I have finally mounted my Max Tracks. For a long time, I didn't know what to do with these Max Tracks. I used to strap them on with the swags when we were up here, but I decided to create some brackets. So these brackets, nothing really too amazing about them, but they're basically some brackets that I found at Bunnings. They're just normal gal brackets, and I shaped them a little bit, cut them a little bit, put some new holes in them, worked out how to put them onto the roof rack, and sprayed them black. I then mounted the Max Tracks pins on the top here, and yeah, very happy with how it turned out. So finally, I've got my Max Tracks somewhere where I can access them easily. I can quickly get access to them, and if they're dirty, I can just slap them back up on the roof here, and it won't be a problem. I've only got 2 Max Tracks at the moment. They're looking a little bit used, mind you. I've never used them, but a few other people have been saved by my Max Tracks. I am pretty keen to get another set as well, so that I have 4. Obviously, 1 for each wheel, but I guess there's no rush with that because I never get stuck. Okay, well, while we're on this side of the car, I might as well show you. I have a King's awning out the side here. This was the original awning that that I had on this car. It is I think it's a 2.5 by 2 meter awning. It still works okay, but this is the awning that I had up at the very first snow trip when we stayed overnight in the snow, and a little bit of wind came through and it snapped one of the poles and tore the awning a little bit. My tent that just fell down. Gotta go.
We had a bit of a disaster last night. Not long after I put it up, my tarp, my awning off the side of the car, the pole actually completely bent and snapped. You can see it down there on the ground. So we didn't end up with a cover over us. That's my sidewall over there on the ground. That
I managed to get a new pole for it, and I fixed it up enough that it works. It's not the greatest, but in a pinch I can get by and use it. But I wouldn't say this is my main awning. I have since upgraded to a super peg awning, which is over on the other side. So let's jump over there and have a quick look. Okay, a little bit tighter down this side, but this is my super peg awning. Is also, I think it's a 2.5 by 3 meter. This thing has been fantastic. It costs probably double the price of a King's awning, but the quality is chalk and cheese. So if you know, the King's awnings are okay if you want something to get you through a year or two and some basic for driving and camping, but highly recommend these super peg ones if you can afford it. Save a few dollars and get one of these. As I said, quality's chalk and cheese. I won't pull them out. It's a little bit hard to do out the back here, but maybe next time we go camping I'll show them to you. Okay, well, now we're getting to the more interesting part. So a lot of the work that I've done has actually been on the inside of the car, not the outside. So just before lockdown, I suddenly had a problem. I was coming home one day and the car just stopped. I was just around the corner Didn't know what it was. Worked out fairly quickly that if I flicked the fuel tank onto the sub tank, the car would run. But as soon as I went back to the main tank, completely died. So luckily, I was able to determine that it was the fuel pump in the main tank. So to change the fuel tank on these, it seats out under the carpet, and there's a little access point there. So only took me a couple of hours, and it's probably only, I don't know, 100, $200 worth of parts. But I was able to replace that fuel pump. So that was one of the things that that I've done while on lockdown. Haven't done an awful lot up the front here. I did fix some of the wiring under my switches here. I worked out that somewhere along the line, there's some excess plugs in there from whoever had the car before me, and the incorrect plugs have been plugged on the back of some of these switches. They sort of worked, sort of didn't. So I took that opportunity to sort of trace them through and fix them up so that they work again properly. Also along the front here, this is where I mount my CB. I've seen these new magnetic ones, so I made a little magnetic connection myself, and now I can just magnet it. I can now use a magnet to hold it on. I'm pretty keen to get out and see how that holds up on the tracks, and whether or not it just falls off all the time. But I can very quickly use it and just sort of flick it back into that area. So fairly excited. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so one of the biggest and probably best upgrades that I've done on this car in a long time was fix the second battery, the auxiliary battery, and the panels that control it. So I decided to get myself one of these King's panels. Took me a while to figure out where to mount it. I already had the CTEC chargers, which are on the side here. So I've got the both CTEC chargers, including the Smart Pass 120, which gives me around about 120 amps of boost into the battery while I'm traveling. It's fantastic. I've also got here an Anderson plug in the cable that I can run out and just plug a solar panel in, solar blanket sitting up there. So effectively with this this setup, I could almost be on the road indefinitely until I run out of beer anyway. So anyway, this panel's now all wired in and wired up. I've got a 135 amp hour lead crystal battery mounted underneath the floor here. Now, I thought about going lithium, but to be honest, I can't afford it. Lithium batteries are a fantastic option, much better than the AGM, and give you a lot more battery power or bang for your buck. But they are $1,000, and let's face it, who's got $1,000 to throw at a battery? So I did a bit of research and I discovered lead crystal. Lead crystal, the biggest downfall of the lead crystal is they are heavy. They are as heavy as an AGM battery. They probably cost about twice as much. I think I paid about $400 for this battery. But the bonus of lead crystal, you can run them down to 0 volts and they will recover fine. Never do that on an AGM. And it was about $400, not $1,000. So I went with lead crystal in the end, and I've got all that wired in and under the floor here. You'll also see here I have the King's battery monitor. So this is an awesome little addition. So it'll tell me how much battery, how much charge I've got left in the battery as either a percentage or as volts. I charged this up this morning, so it's looking pretty full at the moment. Also here, where it says amps, it's saying 0 at the moment because I don't have anything on, I don't have anything running. But this will change to either a positive or negative number depending on whether you're drawing down on the battery or you're putting charge into it. So I can see when I add the solar panel on and I put it out there in the sun, that'll go up to anywhere between 15 and 20 amps. And as I turn my fridge on, I can see that it'll drop down to like -5 or -6. So I can see what the draw is on the battery at the back here. So yeah, been a bit of a change, a bit of work in the electricals. All right, I'm not the most professional, but I can tell you that's a lot better than any wiring job that I've done any time in the past. The panel at the back here gives me a few switches. So I've got outlets, which is the rear panel. I'll show you that in a sec. Floodlights is for the lights that I have on the rear at the roof. I actually have a switch up the front of the car that I can control, turn those on and off, but this is almost like a kill switch, if you like. Cabin lights, the lights at the back, so in the kitchen sort of area, the 12-volt oven and the refrigerator. So these are both off at the moment. These three I can leave on because they don't really do much. But I can turn the oven off. I can turn the fridge off when the car's just sitting. So it's not going to drain the battery. So when I'm ready to go, I just flick those two on, and everything's happening. I've also got a lot of these, I guess, cigarette lighter sockets here, so that I can plug accessories into the side here. And then down the bottom here, we've got two USB ports. So I've got an iPhone cable mounted in there, and also the cable for my Nebo torches. So I can charge my Nebo torches as we're traveling. So yeah, there you go. Nice little addition that I've added into the back of the car. Now, as we come around over on the other side here, it's a bit of a squish. So down behind the seat here, I have my throne, which is, yes, the toilet, and a shovel. So I always keep them in behind this seat on this side. Normally in the back here is my fire pit, but I've actually got that out at the moment because I did some cooking on the fire the other day. So they fit in nicely there, and then the seats can close up against them. The problem that I always had, though, the fridge is on a slide. So the problem with the fridge being on the slide is that if you pull the fridge out, all this stuff around here would fall into the cavity, and then you wouldn't be able to close the fridge again. So I've made up this this very basic bracket just out of some steel mesh that I had. I cut it down to size and welded some supports on it, some brackets on over this side. So I've got a barrier, I guess, a very small barrier that will stop things falling into that cavity. So when I pull that fridge slide out, all my pots and pans and stuff don't fall into the side there. And also I've got some tables and chopping board, which you can't see from here, but you'll see in a sec, mounted on the side here. Up on top of this drawer, I also welded up a little bracket to stop things falling on the side here. So this will keep the chairs up here, and also means that I can tie some bits onto it to stop things from falling. So it's not the best solution, but certainly works a lot better than what it did, and looks a lot neater too. So a lot more functional than what it was previously. Anyway, let's jump around the back of the car, and I'll show you the other side. Okay, well, this is the back of the car. I'm running the powerful 4x4 rear bar on this car. Very similar to your ARB and TGM bars, but a lot more affordable. I highly recommend them. Fantastic. They work great. If you're rich and you can afford it, get one of the more expensive ones. If you can't, have a look at these. They're really good. I have two 20-litre jerry cans on the back, which I normally fill with water for cooking, cleaning, washing, all that sort of thing. And then obviously the spare tyre on this side. I also have my bin bag on the back, and the high lift jack is mounted there as well. So click them open, and let's have a look at the back. So this area is what I call the kitchen. I've put a bit of a cover on some old floorboards actually on the back tailgate here. I had these floorboards left over, and so I cut them up and shaped them. And this was originally carpet, and the carpet was a real problem because if we did any cooking here, we'd spill things, and it would be a horrible mess. So the floorboards here have been great because I can just wipe them down. It acts like a kitchen bench. I can cut things on it. I could even put something hot up here. Not a problem. So yeah, works really well. I'm pretty happy with that change. Now, over on the side here, so we have the King's panel on the side here. So I have a couple of USB points. I can open them up. So some USB points there, so I can charge phones or cameras or whatever I might need to do there. And I can also see how many volts I have left from there as well. The battery itself is hidden under here. I don't know if we can really see too much in there, but I won't pull all that out. But yeah, that's where the battery sits. I've got the 12-volt Travel Buddy oven in the back here. So this is how we cook up our pies and sausage rolls. Once again, just before lockdown, this died on me. I went to cook up some pies, and it didn't work. So yeah, fixed all that, put a new plug on it, and it's all wired into the King's panel through there. So great addition that. The Travel Buddies are amazingly affordable. They're this one I think was only about $215. Highly recommend it. Anyone who's out doing camping or anything like that, get yourself a Travel Buddy. All right, moving right along. So on the side here, so as I said, I now have a spot to put my cutting board. So when I built this bracket, I created a little cavity here, so I can just pull that off and easily get that cutting board in and out. So that'll just sit in there. It's out of the way, and it means that when we're traveling, it's secure, and when we open the fridge slide, that will come straight out. I've got the 60-litre King's fridge in the back here. I like these fridges. There's nothing wrong with that. I've also got a 65-litre Waco that's in the back of the Hilux that I use for work. But the King's fridge in here has been fantastic. I've just ordered a cover for that. I've seen that they now sell the covers separately, so I'm going to put an insulating cover on the back here. I love the King's fridge because I can just take the lid off when I have it turned off, so it doesn't go mouldy inside, and I can quickly and easily pop that on. So if I just whack that over the side here, we can quickly just see this is on a slide, and I can pull that out, which allows me to get into the fridge. Nothing has fallen down the back there, hopefully, so I can slide that in and out without a problem, and yeah, it's working quite well. The barrier on the side here, I cut that back. Originally I had it right out to the edge here, and it was quite high. I didn't need it that high. Makes it a bit easier to get my get anything that I place down the side there in and out. So yeah, I cut that down size and sprayed it black, so it just looks a little bit neater. This is also a new addition. I have the Stihl, what is it? A Stihl 120C chainsaw. Battery powered, runs off a battery here. Chainsaw was always a problem for me, and I've been caught out a number of times not having the chainsaw with me. Never liked petrol inside the car, being a closed cab. Was always quite smelly, especially when it got hot. So I always used to have to strap it onto the roof, which was a complete pain. And then if we came across something that needed cutting down, I wouldn't want to take the chainsaw out to cut it. So now this can sit in the back. There's no smelly petrol. Pull it out, cut what I need to cut, and throw it back in. And being that it's battery powered, I have a little inverter hidden down here. you can see in here, so I can recharge the batteries from my 12-volt system as well. Yeah, anyway, that's great. Down the front here, I've got a couple of lighters. Was always struggling to find lighters. Put a Velcro dot on them, and they just sit on the drawers there. That works really well. And I've got my Leatherman here, just a spare Leatherman, just because they're a handy thing to have. Sorry if you're picking up extra noise here. The neighbours picked of all times to mow his friggin' lawn right now. But anyway, you get what you get. In this drawer here, this is mostly just my accessories. Of course, I have my new hashtag 2 in 2 out, respect the bush bags, that I got from the Snatch website, snatchclothing.com.au. A great initiative. The idea is they gave us 2 free bags. We just had to pay for postage, but they gave us 2 free bags, and we could use these bags to grab other people's rubbish when we're out and about on the tracks. So pretty keen to get them out and actually be able to use them. I've got 2, so we'll be able to bring out 2 people's rubbish plus my rubbish. So let's do what we can to clean up the bush. What else have I got in here? The walls for the awning. Got a couple of walls there. Got my jaffle irons. In here I keep my compressor, what do you call it? Compressor tool, so I can inflate the tyres after we've been out on the tracks. And I don't know, some odds and ends. So this drawer is a bit messy. Another add-on that I've just recently ordered. Kings are now offering a what do you call it? A bench top that sits on these drawers. So it actually sits over the top here when you're traveling, but you can take it off and run it out here. So the idea is I will be able to extend this here, have a bench top that comes out the back here, and then I can still pull the fridge out and access the fridge. So I can cook on a bench here, I can access whatever I need from the fridge, but it'll have the added advantage of keeping all this stuff down while I'm traveling, so it doesn't get stuck. Over on this side here, probably my utensils drawer is the best way to describe it. My cutlery, the camp oven's in the back there. It's now got a cover on it. It was always getting black and messy and pretty horrible. And cooking. And this is something new that that I got for Father's Day, a Jetboil. So I'm pretty excited about this. The Jetboil, I can put it together fairly quickly. It's basically a little stove. So I can use this to boil up a couple of cups of water pretty quick, and I might get T to come out here and show us how we put it together. But yeah, we can. It was always a pain having to get the kettle out, and then where do I boil up my water? Do I do it on the fire? Do I do it on the stove? But now with the Jetboil, I can in about 2 minutes boil up some water and make my coffees in the morning, which is pretty important. So we'll put that aside for the moment. We'll come back to that and show you how that works. So yeah, pretty much just accessories drawer, and then up in here I have my food drawer. So these are in 3 bags. I can just take out whatever bag I need. They're clear top, so I can see what's in them quickly. But yeah, basically all our food that doesn't go in the fridge gets distributed between these bags, and they pretty much live in here. We have raided a few times over lockdown, so I will have to pull them all out and do a bit of an inventory before we can hit the road again. But yeah, they're very handy, and it's a lot more organised than what it was when I just had everything loose in this drawer. And it just means I can pull out something, I can grab what I need, pull it out, and then access whatever I need out of there, and then throw it back in when it's done. So yeah, bags is fantastic. So that is basically the back here. Oh, 2 more. Two more mods. Okay, so one of the problems that I had when I was cooking here, when it got a little bit dark and I was preparing food, I actually ended up slicing my hand quite badly because I picked up the knife in the low light and thought the sheath was on it, found out it wasn't, cut my hand quite badly. So light was always a problem. I did have a row of LED lights that are just inside here that light up the cabin, but now not only do I have the lights that are up in there, if you can see that, but I also have lights along the back here. So this is an amazing addition. I've tried it at night, it lights up this whole area, so I can quite easily cook here and it's not a problem. I've also added this, and this is probably one of my most favourite mods. I saw this on someone else's YouTube channel, and he's basically a camp chef, and he had his paper towel mounted up here on the rear door, and I went, that is just amazing. So paper roll holder, I can quickly, easily just access it. It's just got a rubber band around it to hold it. At the moment, it was flapping around in the wind, but yeah, I can quickly and easily access my paper towel. It's out of the way. When you're cooking and you're in the bush, you need paper towel. You need your paper towel. So anyway.
Okay, so this is the new Jetboil that we got recently, and I'm going to show you how it works. So, take the lid off, put that aside. We got this, we don't need it.
What is it?
That's the pot stand, I think you said.
That's right. It's a pot stand. So if we want to put a pot instead of the Jetboil on top of the stove, we can put a little frying pan or something like that on. But we don't need that at the moment.
Right, okay, so we don't need that. Don't need that.
What's that?
What is it called?
The burner. Keep going. I won't ask you every question.
And then we got the stand. Okay, let's set this up first. So, pull it out. That. Upside down. We got this, which is the thing over
Gas.
The gas, yep. And we clip it in like so. Beautiful. Take the lid off that. Take the bottom off this. Okay. So, I'll pull this out so we can actually turn it on. And then we're going to screw this on. There we go. And that's on. Now we grab this one.
Oh, I need some water in that.
Water.
Right here.
Right here? Oh, okay. That's my line.
So fill it up. There is a line about halfway through.
Yep, just in there.
As you can just see in there.
Beautiful.
So that's our max fill line.
This is dirty. Yep, there's a spider in it.
Oh, lovely.
It's like 2 spiders in here. What have you done?
All right, let's throw that out and let's get some more.
Spider's gone.
I'd say the spiders came from the water here.
Yep. That's the plan. I think we'll go fill this up. Okay. So we got our water. I'm going to put the lid back on it. And we put this in here. Where's my little... So that's on, that's safe, that's secure. Lid on. And we're going to turn it on. So, you want to show them?
No, you can keep going. So
Right.
turn the gas on the side.
Yep, so we got the little button, and then we got this. So push this, turn this.
Turn that on. Yep. Other way. Other way. Yeah. That's it. And hit that piezo. That's it.
Uh-huh.
It's going.
Is that all the way?
That's it.
It's good. And then
So now we
can you
watch.
see it? You can see it, yeah.
And for the orange bit to go up.
that was pretty easy, and we got our cups of tea. Probably took what, about a minute, maybe 2 minutes to boil. So pretty quick, and yeah, a lot easier to set up and get going in the morning than pulling the kettle out and trying to get a fire going and all that sort of stuff pre-coffee, which is never good because, let's face it, I'm not good pre-coffee. She's not even awake. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed our little video of the bits and pieces that we've done over the lockdown. Fingers crossed that lockdown ends soon, because man, we want to get out and do some trips. We've had a lot of discussion about it. We're contemplating, do we do another high country? Love to get up into the Wanagata Valley and up around that area again. We've also thought about, do we sneak out to Little Desert National Park, or maybe even Big Desert National Park, do a bit of sand driving. Would be great to see the area now, given it's spring, and would be full of wildflowers. So that'd be pretty amazing. But it is a long drive, 6 hours to get there. So we'll see. Not quite sure. Hell, at the moment, I'd be happy to go to VT and just spend a weekend up there camping. So yeah. Anyway, let's finish our cup of tea, and hopefully we'll see you again on me, my 4-wheel drive. Take care, guys. We'll see you soon.
See ya.